This is a video on the creativity sciences and the excellence sciences. And it's suggesting that they perhaps play the role of being totally new dimensions of universities. We have one-dimensional universities now, in that universities for 500, 800 years have been divided into the arts and humanities, the social sciences, the hard sciences, and engineering, and the professions. Every university in the world is chopped up more or less into those, and then around that's a bunch of centers between them and around them. But basically you have those departments, and that's it. And if, let's say I go to a university and I want to know how to be an excellent physicist. Well, nobody teaches excellence. There aren't any courses in it. There's no specialty in it. The idea is sort of you take 20 courses in law, and somehow indirectly, even though nobody knows how or why, it's not taught or studied, you'll become an excellent lawyer by doing a good job in all those law courses, even though nobody teaches excellence. This is sort of as irritating as the experience I had of growing up in public schools and trying to be really, really smart because you came from a poor family and you knew in order to have a good career, a good life, you had to be smart and do well in school and get into a good college. And so, but nobody in any school that I attended taught how to think well. They taught geometry, and they taught history, and they taught American history, and they taught physics, and they taught all these subjects. Nobody taught how to think well. I remember at the University of Michigan many, many years ago, walking down the hall and seeing a gigantic auditorium with 400 or 500 students in it, and a hullabaloo coming from it. And I asked somebody going in what the hell was going on there. And well, this is the most popular single course at the University of Michigan, which was called Ways of Thinking, taught by the psychology department. There was a hunger there. In a similar way, I think people have a hunger for excellence, and nobody teaches it. We don't have a department of excellence. And we certainly don't have methods of excellence that actually can be applied to dance, to law, to medicine, to sociology, to history, and work across all those fields. Similarly, we have a situation where nobody teaches you directly how to be creative. And the thing about creating is there's composing, there's performing, there's inventing, there's innovating, there's creating, i.e. building, there's designing, there's making a self, and then leadership, making other people's selves different. Nobody teaches all those in one place. And if you're lucky, in a law course, somebody will talk about some creative piece of law somebody did sometime somewhere in passing, but we don't concentrate it anywhere. So imagine a university where you can major in one of the traditional departments, law, medicine, history, physics, math, something, where you can major in one of or more of the excellent sciences, creativity, effectiveness, handling error, handling complexity, etc. Or you can major in one of the creativity sciences, composing, performing, designing, innovating, inventing, what have you. I think that'd be a great university if you could major in one of each of those three areas. And I think it would be a great, even greater university if 10 of the excellent sciences were applied to several fields, and you had a kind of matrix experience while you were at university. So now that's sort of the context. And now I'm going to talk about a little bit, enumerate a little bit about these things in detail. 64 capabilities of highly educated people. One way to get to the top of any field is by being highly educated, more educated than other people in your field. That'll get you to the top. Another way is to be more effective than people in your field. That'll get you to the top. Another way is to manage yourself and your emotions and the social aspects of you better than other people do. That'll get you to the top. Another way is to discern and manage the cultures around you and in your field. That'll get you to the top. Another way is to manage learning, the different ways that people learn and the groups learn better than other people. Another way is to think structurally and use tools for structural cognition, applying mental operators to structured patterns of ideas rather than single ideas. That'll get you to the top. Another way is to master the career dynamics of your field and other fields. That'll get you to the top. Another way is to outcreate other people in your field. Another way is to master selling. Sell better. Not just in the sense of commercial selling, selling ideas to journal editors, selling a new journal idea to some collegial friends, selling a project, a ridiculous research project to some funders who've never heard of the idea before. Those are hard sales. Being good at that is a good salesman. That'll get you to the top. Mastering the basic functions of managing and leading. That'll get you to the top. Thinking the web. Thinking. What's the web doing to us? What's it opening it up? What's it closing? That'll get you to the top. So these are what I call the excellent sciences. There are 54 of them, and each of the ones that I told you, I actually have 64 models of. So 64 capabilities of highly educated people, 96 methods from the world's most effective people, 64 dynamics of managing a self in present circumstances, 64 ways that individuals and groups learn, 16 tools of structural cognition, 64 dynamics of the world's most interesting careers, etc., etc., etc. Now that's the excellent sciences. There are 54 of them, and I teach large numbers of models of the capabilities that constitute each of them. Now we have this other thing called the creativity sciences. And the creativity sciences are, there are various models that I've built of them. By one way of reckoning, which is kind of a modicum of being complicated enough and simple enough at the same time, there are 18 of them. And they are number one, creativity, 60 models of creativity. Design, 60 models of design. Fashion, 60 models of fashion. Innovation, 100 models of how people innovate. Venture founding, 420 dynamics. Educated person, creating a self, 64 capabilities. Managing a self, 120 dynamics, 128 dynamics. Managing careers, 128 dynamics. Managing others, 128 dynamics. Composing stories and games, 16 genres, 16 story types. Knowledge dynamics, 64 knowledge dynamics. Managing culture, 9 powers and 64 dimensions of culture. 10 tools for handling culture. Managing quality and customers, 64 dynamics. Managing systems, 256 system effects. Performing, 16 shows, 16 audience types, 16 stances to audiences. And then we have evolution and evolutionary design, the natural selection dynamics going on with any field. And then we have the liberal arts of all fields, the comedy, history, literature, and namings of every field. Those are the 18 novelty and creativity sciences. Imagine a university where you major in a department of the traditional sort, one of the excellent sciences of the 54, and one of the creativity or novelty sciences of the 18 of them. So you ended up with 8 courses in your field, 8 courses in an excellent science, and 8 courses in a creativity or novelty science. In other words, you would have the tools of one way of being excellent in your field, and the tools of one way of being creative in your field, as well as the history and methods and traditions of your field. I don't know. I think it's worth thinking about. And I think the internet is going to make unusual new dimensions of knowledge like that more practical and more powerful. And I think the hidebound 1,000-year out-of-date use of prose and lectures and traditional academic fields, I think that gigantic out-of-date stuff is going to be challenged by some alternative ways of structuring knowledge that we very much badly need. And in the careers of the most interesting people that I interviewed, you found that one of the first things they overcame in their life was the bad, out-of-date structuring of knowledge given to them by university, the experiences they had.